See, in the statement of the problem, it's given density is equal to 971 kg per meter cube. Atomic weight is given 23 and there is one conduction electron per atom. We need to calculate Fermi energy of a metal at absolute zero, Fermi velocity and Fermi temperature. We know that Fermi energy of any metal at absolute zero is given by h square by 8m 3n by pi to the power of 2 by 3 in terms of joules. So here except n all other terms are constants. So substituting for all these constants we can write it is equal to 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 38 n to the power of 2 by 3 in terms of joules. So if you know what is n, you can calculate what is Fermi energy at absolute zero. So how do you calculate n? That we will see here. N is equal to number of free electrons per atom into the density into Avogadro's number into 10 to the power of 3 divided by atomic weight. It's given that number of free electrons per atom is 1 and the density is given 978 kg per meter cube. Avogadro's number is 6.025 into 10 to the power of 3 and here we have 10 to the power of 23, here we have 10 to the power of 3 divided by atomic weight is given 23. By simplifying this, we get it is equal to 2.54 into 10 to the power of 28 per meter cube. Number of free electrons per conduction is 2.54 into 10 to the power of 28 per meter cube. Substituting this value of n here in this equation we can find out what is Fermi energy. So it's there 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 38 into n is 2.54 into 10 to the power of 28 to the power of 2 by 3. So simplifying this we get it is equal to 5.06 into 10 to the power of minus 19 in terms of joules. If you convert it into electron volt, we get it is equal to 3.16 electron volts. So the same way we can calculate Fermi velocity also. We know that Fermi energy at absolute zero is given by, in terms of velocity of the Fermi electrons, it is given by E half into m Vf square. From this we can write Vf is equal to 2 into Ef naught by mass of the electron under root. Substituting for Ef naught here in terms of joules and mass of the electron, we get Vf is equal to 1.054 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second. Similarly, we also know that Fermi energy at absolute zero temperature or Fermi energy of any metal Ef is given by K into Tf, where Tf is the Fermi temperature. So we can write Fermi temperature is equal to Ef by K, where K is Boltzmann constant. Substituting for this, we get it is equal to 36.6 Kelvin. This is how we can calculate Fermi energy of any given metal, Fermi velocity and Fermi temperature. So we will move on to the next statement of the problem. In the next statement, Fermi energy of a metal is given 5.5 electron volt, which we need to convert it into joules. Given Fermi energy of silver is 5.5 electron volt, which we have to convert it into joules, that is 5.5 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. Also, we need to calculate the electron concentration, number of conduction electrons per meter cube. So in the previous statement of the problem, we know that Fermi energy is given by 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 38 n to the power of 2 by 3. this n we need to calculate now. So n to the power of 2 by 3 is equal to EF by 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 38. Taking this root to right hand side, I can write it as 3 by 2. Fermi energy is given. It is 5.5 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 divided by 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 38 to the power of 3 by 2. Simplifying this, we get it is equal to 5.83 into 10 to the power of 28 per meter cube. Number of conduction electrons per meter cube is 10 to the power of 5.83 into 10 to the power of 28. In the next statement of the problem, it's given, the given energy level is 0.02, the given energy level E is 0.02 electron volts above the Fermi level, That means the given energy level is, if you know EF as the Fermi level, then it is 0.02 plus 0.02 electron volt. That is the given energy level, and we have to find out Fermi energy. We have to find out the Fermi factor F of E at T is equal to, the first case 200 Kelvin, and say let us take T1, T2. T2 is equal to 400 Kelvin. We know that Fermi energy is given by 1 by e to the power of E minus EF by K into T plus 1. This E is given as EF plus this divided by K into T plus 1. This is in terms of joules, electron volts. You need to convert it into joules. So first case at T is equal to 200 Kelvin. F of E at T1, let me write it as T1, 1 by e to the power of, in the place of E, will substitute EF plus 0.02 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 divided by K is Boltzmann constant, 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23, and the given temperature is 200 Kelvin plus 1. Simplifying this, we get Fermi factor is equal to 4.19 or approximately equal to 4%. Similarly, second case, Fermi energy at T2 is equal to 400 Kelvin. In the place of temperature 200, we need to substitute now for 400. So it is 1 by e to the power of EF plus 0.02 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 divided by 1.38 into 400 into 10 to the power of minus 23 into 400 plus 1. We get, simplifying this, we get it is equal to 2.78 or approximately equal to 2.8. So that is the percentage or probability of occupancy at 400 Kelvin. Similarly at 200 Kelvin. This is how you can calculate the occupation probability at a given temperature for a given energy level. In the next statement of the problem, Fermi energy of a metal is given. The fourth one, Fermi energy of a metal is given. It is 2.1 electron volt, which you need to convert it into joules. Temperature is given 300 Kelvin, and Fermi factor is given. Fermi factor is given, and three different cases are given: 0.09, 0.99 and 0.01 and 0.5. And we have to find out the corresponding energy value at which the Fermi factor is 0.99 at 300 Kelvin. So we know that Fermi energy is given by, Fermi factor is given by 1 by e to the power of e minus ef divided by k into t plus 1, and we have to calculate this E at a corresponding temperature T and with the given value of f of E. So let us express this equation in terms of E. So how do you express that? Take it to left hand side, e to the power of e minus ef by k into t plus 1 is equal to 1 by f of E. So e to the power of e minus ef by k into t, taking this 1 to right hand side, it is f of e minus 1. Since it is exponential to this, let us take ln on both the sides. Taking ln on both the sides, we get the left hand part of the equation is equal to e minus ef by k into t is equal to ln of 1 by f of e minus 1. So now by rearranging the terms here in this equation, we can write the given energy of the level for which we are finding that that is what we are finding now. E is equal to EF plus k into t ln of 1 by f of e minus 1. This is the equation. We can use it now to calculate the energy at a given Fermi factor. So let us use this equation now. So E is equal to EF, where EF is given 2.1 electron volt, convert it into joules, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 plus Boltzmann constant 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23 into the temperature is given 300 Kelvin ln of 1 by the very first case, let us take 0.99 minus 1. So simplifying this, we get energy value E is equal to 1.98 electron volt. First we get in terms of joules, then converting it into electron volts, we get 1.98 electron volts. Similarly, the second case, f of E is equal to 0.01. Substitute in the place of 0.99, substitute for 0.01 minus 1. Simplifying that, we get energy E is equal to 2.22 electron volts. And the third case, for Fermi factor is equal to 0.5. This 0.5 in the place of 0.99, we have to substitute for 0.5. We get E is equal to 2.1 electron volt. This is how you can calculate the respective energy for a given Fermi factor. Next, coming to problems on semiconductors, intrinsic semiconductors. In the statement of the problem, it's given the resistivity is 3000 ohms meter. Mobility of electron is equal to 0.17 meter square per volt second. Mobility of holes is equal to 0.035 meter square per volts second, and we have to calculate the intrinsic charge carrier concentration. We know that conductivity of an intrinsic semiconductor is given by sigma is equal to intrinsic charge carrier concentration Ni into the sum of the respective mobilities of electrons and holes into the charge on the charge carrier. We need to calculate this Ni. So So Ni is equal to sigma by mobility of electron plus mobility of hole into the charge on them. And we know that reciprocal of conductivity is resistivity. So I can take it to the numerator. It is mu E plus mu H into the charge on the electron. Substituting the values, we get resistivity is given 3000. Mobility of the electron is 0.17 plus mobility of the hole is 0.035 and the charge on the electron 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. We get the intrinsic charge carrier concentration as 1.016 into 10 to the power of 16 plus 16 per meter cube. This is how you can calculate the charge carrier concentration in a given intrinsic semiconductors. In the next statement of the problem, Hall coefficient R suffix H is given 3.68 into 10 to the power of minus 5 meter cube per coulomb. Since the given Hall coefficient is positive value, the type of the charge carrier is hole. The type of the charge carrier is hole. So, we have to calculate the number of holes per meter cube present in the valence band of the material. We know that Hall coefficient is given by 1 by n into E, and n is equal to 1 by the Hall coefficient into the charge on the electron. Hall coefficient is given and we know the charge on the electron, and n is equal to 1 by 3.68 into 10 to the power of minus 5 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Simplifying this, we get it is equal to 1.698 into 10 to the power of 23. Number of holes per meter cube. This is how you can calculate the charge carrier concentration in a given semiconductor using Hall coefficient. In the statement of the problem, it's given the Hall coefficient RH is equal to 3.66 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per coulomb. Resistivity is given 9.93 into 10 to the power of minus 3 ohm meter. We have to calculate the mobility and charge carrier concentration. Since the RH is positive, again the type of the charge carrier is hole. It is the majority charge carriers are holes in the given semiconducting material. Since it is the holes are the majority charge carriers, conductivity is due to hole, and the conductivity due to hole is given by number of holes present in the valence band of the material per unit volume, the charge on the hole and mobility of the holes. So here we should know what is the number of holes present in the given valence band of the material. To find out this n, we know what is RH, that is Hall coefficient. We know that Hall coefficient RH is equal to 1 by n into E. From this we can calculate what is the number of holes present in the valence band of the material. Substituting the values for RH and the charge on the hole, we get 1.707 into 10 to the power of 22 per meter cube. Now substitute this n here. Substitute this n here to find out what is the conductivity due to holes. That is 1.707 into 10 to the power of 22 into, we also don't know what is the mobility. So, mobility of holes is equal to conductivity due to holes, number of holes into the charge on the electron. We know that reciprocal of this is resistivity due to holes, NH into E. Now, resistivity is given. We know the number of electrons per unit volume and the charge on the electron. Substituting all this, it is 9.93 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into the number of holes into charge on the hole. Simplifying this, we get mobility of holes is equal to 0.04 into 0.04 meter square per volts second. This is how you can calculate mobility of the hole and the number of holes per unit volume